Now I want to move over to how to sell a pen. That's something that a lot of people talk about, and an example that is used. You know, a lot of the salespeople online, social media, they speak about it and how to sell a pen. And so, one, I'm going to tell you the right answer of how to sell a pen. It does come up in interviews for jobs sometimes. So if you know this, then hopefully it helps you. But more importantly, I actually want to show some examples of other people in sales that have actually done sell me a pen, the way to sell me a pen, and the answer that they've given, and actually how they have probably not done it the best way, and actually how I would have answered. And now, by the way, this isn't to say that these people don't know sales at all, because I think they do. That's the truth of it. But I think that it's just a fun way to show you guys a better way to do it. So it's not me discrediting or saying that these guys don't know sales. It's more me saying there's probably a better way to answer this. So let's now look at Simon Squibb, actually. Simon Squibb mentioned something, and he talks about how to sell a pen. So we'll then talk about how actually you should go about something like this.
Most people, when I give you this pen, will start selling it. The first question you need to ask is not, would you like to buy this pen? And this is a lovely pen. Do you like blue? Look at it. It's nice and strong and it's a good brand. It will last for. Forget all that shit. First thing you need to say is, do you need a pen? Do you need a pen? Now, if people say no, then you ask them when in the future they might need a pen. You break down when the desire and the need for this product might occur.
Right, so what Simon says there is basically you're not going to talk about the pen, and he's 100% right here, by the way. You don't sell the pen itself. You don't talk about how beautiful it is, how good it is, etc., etc., etc. But the mistake Simon does make here is he says you're going to ask the question whether they need the pen, right? That is not the right way to go about it, because actually half of the people you're selling something to will just say no, even if they need something, because they don't want to be sold to. So they would just say no. And more importantly, a mistake here is asking a closed-ended question by saying, do you need this pen? You're now giving an option to the company, to the client, to the customer, to anyone you're selling that pen to. You're giving them the option to say no. And so if now I say no, I'm already negative. I'm already on the back foot, at which point you might say, when will you need it in the future? Which is what Simon tells you to say. Again, you're already on the back foot. So a lot of the times a client, a customer, the person listening will probably just turn around and say, no, it's not what I need, because it's an easier option. Now, let me tell you how you should have started a conversation about selling a pen. And bearing in mind here, we're just using the pen as an example, you would say something like, what sort of pen are you looking for? Again, implying that the person is looking for a pen. And it's an open-ended question. Or you would say something like, how long have you been in the market for a pen? Again, an open-ended question implying that the person is looking for something. And to be fair, before that, you may even want to go and ask really open-ended questions, something like, how often do you carry a pen? Because you'll be surprised. Again, not many people carry pens. And again, it's an open-ended question, right? So the person will speak a little bit more than just a yes or a no. So you would say something like, well, how often do you carry a pen? And so they might say rarely. Or they might say, well, I carry a pen all the time. So like, oh, so you carry a pen all the time. So is it fair to say that you understand the importance of having a pen? Because sometimes, you might be in a situation where you need one, you don't have one. And again, now you're setting yourself a way in, right? This is, by the way, just selling a pen. The importance, I guess, is not necessarily the pen. It's teaching you something. And it's teaching you that no matter what it is, you don't start with asking a yes or a no question. Because as soon as you ask a yes or a no question, the answer very easily, very quickly can just be no. No, I don't need it. No, I don't want it. It's actually easy. No one likes to be sold to. So you have to ask open-ended questions and ask questions which makes the person feel like, you know what, this person's actually solving a problem for me. And this is again what I rewind, and I'm taking this step by step, and hopefully it's adding meat to the bone, and you're understanding and learning a ton. And that is, when you ask open-ended questions and you're not asking closed-ended questions, you find out the problems they might have. You set up problems for them. And someone who actually does this quite well, actually, I've mentioned a couple of people who didn't do this that well. Now I'll mention someone who mentions this the right way, actually, and it's Jordan Belfort. He talks about this, and he actually mentions this quite well, and so I'll play that little clip for you now.
Sell me the pen. Okay, here's what I'm going to meet you. I'm going to meet you halfway with this, and I'll give a little sales training here about the trap of selling a pen. So when you tell someone to sell a pen like this, there's no context to sell you a pen because I don't know anything about you. I don't know what type of pens you use and whatnot. So when you do this to a salesperson, they'll say some really wacky stuff. So the best thing to say is, I would say to Pierce, how long have you been in the market for a pen?
I've wanted a pen for 3 months.
So you've been looking for a pen for 3 months now?
Yes.
Really? And what type of pens do you typically use when you use a pen?
I like a nice, easy-to-use ballpoint pen or something.
Okay, so now just so you know what I'm doing, so I want to teach a little bit here, is that the idea is that when you sell someone something is you need to be asking questions first to qualify, to find out what someone's needs are.
Now, I'm sure you guys can understand. We've just talked about Sell Me a Pen, and we've spoken about a couple of people in the industry that, talk about sales. And it's to actually show how deep sales actually is. It's never simple.